Garrett, how's he been this week, and what's going to be the plan with him?
I think he'll be in a rotation, kind of as I alluded to earlier in the week. He had a good week, got a lot of reps. So I think he's clearly going to be getting back into the rotation.
It seems like that you kind of like to do that when a guy's coming off of injury, maybe not just throw him right back into a starting lineup. Is that kind of the thought process usually with a guy working back into things slowly?
Yeah, I felt like, when you talk about, coming off of an injury, in particular, his situation where he hasn't played, and on the offensive line where we've gotten some pretty good continuity over the last few weeks, insert him, as the game kind of unfolds. And all the guys that we've done that with, Armani Goodwin, have come back without any setbacks. So something that I think has been met with, from Bo's perspective, approval, and it's worked out pretty good.
Coach, what about Jaden's progression? I remember earlier in the year you said you wanted him to get the ball out quicker. Now he's been a way better passer the last few weeks. How have you seen him kind of grow and prosper the past couple of weeks?
A lot of it is technical. Certainly we've talked about, in my last few times in front of you guys and gals, that it's seeing it, but a lot of this is technical too, right? It's the proper footwork. It's being in the right position to throw the ball on time. I think the best illustration is the 2-point play. He didn't make that throw earlier in the year. He would not have made that throw. This is a combination of, technically being sound, tactically understanding what's going on, mentally being in a better position because he's so much more confident. And let's not forget, he's put on about, since he's gotten here, about 15 pounds physically. So, his preparation is so much better, as the season has unfolded.
Coach, is there an update on Sevyn Banks?
Yeah, so that's a kind of a week-to-week situation. He's better. He's been in conditioning, but I can't offer you anything else other than he feels good. He's got full mobility and flexion, but that is a determination that's being made based upon MRIs, which he's scheduled to get another one here. I don't know if it's Tuesday or the following Tuesday, but he's made similar progress that Major Burns has made.
Yeah, I guess coming off of, a pretty emotional weekend, now you've had a full week of practice to kind of just see how the guys respond in this kind of situation. Just how have they responded? Have you seen that focus in preparation this week?
Yeah, we won't have any excuses for, this being anything else but, performing against, a really good Arkansas team. So our preparation has been good. Our attention to detail, all the things necessary to go on the road in the SEC and play a really, good football team. So, our guys understand what's at stake, but they stayed focused on the right things. And that's, the things they can control, right? They can't control anything else but their preparation. They did a nice job.
Coach, do you think you guys are going to try to attack the Arkansas offensive line? It seems like they struggled a little bit against Liberty last week.
Well, I think, controlling the line of scrimmage is always, part of any game plan. And certainly I think they have an outstanding center. I think central to what they want to do is run the football. So clearly, what we need to do is be really good against the run. But I'd be a broken record with that comment, right? I mean, I think each and every week I've talked about our ability to, in some fashion, control the line of scrimmage. So absolutely, we have to do a really good job up front and recognize that that's really what they want to do is run the football.
Coach, with Anthony Bradford, how has he sort of grown into that right guard role and sort of improved as the year has gone along? And even when Dellinger fully comes back, will he still sort of find a role in the lineup as more a rotational piece?
Well, we're going to play the guy that's more consistent. I mean, Frazier's involved in that too. There's a 3-man rotation there, so all of them. We think that there's enough reps for all 3 of them because I think they're all quality SEC linemen. So we're going to play them all, keep them fresh. I think it's an advantage. We're going to use it as an advantage more so than one guy's, playing and the other guy's not. So, yeah, I just think it makes us better now that he's in the rotation. And Bradford, look, competition's always good too, right? So we've got a little competition there. We can lean on them a little bit if we don't think that they're practicing up to the level that we set. Can ask them to stand over next to me, and that gets their attention a little bit better.
Coach Kelly right here. How are you going to keep the fire lit under these guys during the final stretch of the season?
Well, if they're asking me to keep the fire lit, we're in trouble. This is really about, I've never been a guy that subscribes to the theory that it's my job to motivate them. It's their job to motivate themselves. And so building that kind of intrinsic motivation through their preparation is my job. I need to prepare them. That's my job. And through preparation, they'll build confidence that they're ready to play. But if I got to go give rah-rah speeches and do all that kind of stuff, we're going to be an up-and-down football team. And that hasn't been the case. And so we'll continue to work on their preparation. We'll continue to work on the things that are, important to, being successful on Saturday. And one of them is that it's their job to motivate themselves.
Ryan, there's a lot of questions around whether KJ Jefferson will play, how effective he is, that sort of thing. What you seen of Malik Hornsby, does it make that much difference? Is that kind of thing overblown when it's like when the other quarterback's iffy and you're not exactly sure what they're going to do?
Well, you have to prepare for all 3 quarterbacks, so that's what it does in that sense. We know that there is some question about that. I'll believe it when I see it. Is kind of how I've always prepared. But we know Hornsby is dynamic. I mean, he hits a seam. If you are not precise in your run support, he'll go the distance. So that gets your attention. Threw for 234 yards, against Mississippi State. He can push the ball down the field. I think it was against Mississippi State. I think he was responsible for like 72 or 73% of the production in that game. So he can produce. So that's a real quarterback. So we had to prepare for him. There's no doubt. And he brings some different elements to the game. And I think the biggest one is that element of speed.
The offensive line, I mean, we've talked a lot about the freshmen, but the offensive line as a unit has improved throughout the season. Was there like a moment that you can pinpoint that you felt like it started to click for them?
I think that, when we started to look at, settling in with Emory Jones at right tackle and obviously Will at left tackle, I think that kind of solidified things for us. And that's when the continuity and the consistency, the guard thing was in and out, right? but I think that that's when it started to kind of take hold and really build an identity. That's kind of how we see it as a staff.